fasting, whether you are a Christian, even the Buddhists, they don't abandon fasting when they want to get greatness. Or Hindu, do we remember Mahatma Gandhi that changed the entire history of India by fasting and by staying in one place? The meaning is that fasting, to any sincere person, knows that when you want greatness, fasting should not be far from you. And that is why Almighty Allah, out of His mercy, He has made fasting to us a compulsory aspect of our life. Fasting can purify the mind and elevate our consciousness by refining our perception and giving us more meaningful perspective. When you fast the way Allah has asked us to fast, your thinking will be changed. Your approach to life will be changed. If not just fasting for fasting's sake, like most of people used to do. And incidentally, we have a lot of challenges in our hands this time around. Some people will say there's fasting already, so there's nothing new in the fasting that is coming. And they say, and to us, our fasting does not mean any fast. Allah's fasting is the only one that we know as fasting. Do not deceive yourself that you are challenged at this particular point in time. That does not mean you are fasting. But you can actually use this fasting that Allah is bringing for us to change your life, to change the way we used to do. And we should also know that when you are fasting, it gives us self-restraint, and it can also give us power and raise our self-esteem. We harness our spiritual power during fasting. I do not know whether you remember in the glorious Quran, when Allah tells people who are yet to get married, He said they should bring their eyes down and they should also be fasting. Do you know the importance and the essence of fasting when Allah asks them to be fasting? Because it brings the spiritual power in you and it connects you with Almighty Allah at all the time. You will not be thinking of things that will drive you away from the path of Almighty Allah. And also, fasting makes us to understand the essence of life itself. And when we understand the essence of fasting, we will understand the essence of life. And fasting itself, when we know that the essence is just to take us from one level to another level, to take us from lowness to greatness, it is then we will realize that fasting, that we should be thanking Allah that you are a Muslim, that Allah has encouraged us to fast. And prayers and fasting. If you look at the life of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa sallam, the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam used fasting to change the history of the world. The Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam used fasting to change his own life history, and the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam used fasting to make things different from the way his compatriots used to do it. And we all have the opportunity today that the condition which we are living, nobody can say is comfortably by himself, but you can change that discomfort to comfort through the understanding and the right way of fasting that Ramadan brings to us. And fasting, it is a way of conversion of pain into pathway to greatness. Perhaps you do not know that tribulation and trials has always been a source of greatness. And when you are fasting, be rest assured that you will be catapulted into an ocean of different opportunities that Allah has given to us. When we fast with a proper intention, we are engaging in God-sanctioned form of voluntary physical stress designed to alleviate some of our worst pains in life. Fasting is a form of emotional healing. Fasting takes your mind off emotional trauma by giving you a gift of understanding without any anxiety that you will feel if you are genuinely in a state of poverty and deprivation which we are today. You cannot compare the time that you do not have money to eat to the time that you are not eating because you are fasting for Almighty Allah. You can't compare those two situations, because one will give you hope, one will give you joy, another will give you hopelessness. And that is why when you see fasting, you know that it is a blessing that Allah has given to you. You have food, you have shelter, and you voluntarily abandon all those things to serve Almighty Allah as a reorientation, as a reset and relief button to get away from all worldly pain. Also, I do not know, but whether you know the importance of fasting in our life, I will encourage my people to accept Islam so that they can be fasting without us spending money on police. Ramadan provides a context for us to reclaim power over our loss, because fasting is hardship that relieves all hardship. Allah says, "Innama ale usri yusra, fa innama ale usri yusra." That Almighty Allah is even referred to it is that fasting as you see it, that the pain which you pass through is to give you a pathway to easiness. When you are in pain and you understand it, it gives you pathway to a better life. We can now ask ourselves, how can we use the month of Ramadan to convert hardship into relieving hardship in our life? The first and the most important way and opportunities for us to do is Quran. We should begin to read the Quran consciously, and we should begin to try to understand what the Quran says. Do not forget there are two separate Quranic reading. There is when you read Quran to earn reward, which is number one thing which you will do, and you should also read Quran to understand God. That is another thing that you must also do. You must learn Quran. No matter how much you think you know, you need to learn more about the Quran. No matter how much you do not know, you should learn to teach people about the Quran. If you learn one thing about the Quran, meet your friends, meet your children, meet your colleagues, explain it to them. Just try to do this month of Ramadan. Another way that you can harness the opportunity that Ramadan gives is for you to be reading the life of the Prophet ﷺ and other prophets of Allah. You will see how your life, how your heart will become cool, and you'll be ready to accept whatever God will bring, and be rest assured that your life will become a better one. The third ways in which we can change this way in which we can have a better life during the month of Ramadan. Changing hardship by removing hardship from hardship for us. Another area is by giving people. We should learn to give no matter how small. I do not know whether I told you the story of one man that was always begging for people to help him. And those who used to help that man, they now saw him one day where they think they don't have. They now saw him helping other people, and then who used to give him money began to cry that we thought that you don't have, or we have better than you, but at the end of the day you are actually the one giving to what you have. Then secondly, there was the story of a man who was very hungry. He was a poor person. He has just like $1 remaining with him, and he decided that he will kill himself that day. When he was going to kill himself, he now saw somebody that was begging that please, no matter what you have, his life was in pain. And he looked at the man, he said, I don't have anything, but I have this $1. And he gave the poor man $1. And when he gave the poor man $1, the poor man gave him what was in his pocket. It was like a ring. And he moved out. He decided not to kill himself. The first person the man met that is showing him the ring, they now carry him to one place where they are selling old things. He said they have been looking for this ring for the past 11 years, and any amount that the man wanted, they were ready to give him. And they gave him money that ring turned him to somebody that is no more poor, that he thought he does not have, and he gave the little thing that he had, and Allah turned his life for him. That is the conscience that we should have during this Ramadan. Do not think that you do not have anything to give. No matter how poor you are still better than somebody. It is that somebody you should have in your mind that you must help them all the time, and you should help other people grow. The Prophet ﷺ said, any Muslim that help fellow Muslims to grow, you take him to move. Allah said on the day of Qiyamah, when people will be sleeping into hellfire, Allah will bring that one up, that to the essence that he will be taken to Al-Jannah to Firdaus. And also, you should learn to use good words. Be conscious of what comes out of your mouth all other time during this month of Ramadan. Be conscious of it. Before you say a single word, think about it. Does God want it this way? And also, you should avoid all mundane things. Avoid social media. Let me ask my brothers and sisters, all the social media you have been working on, in the last 1 week, what is the gain you have gotten during this month, during that 1 week, because of the social media? It's still your time, it's still your future, and it's still the best thing in you. During the month of Ramadan, decide to train yourself. Forget about all this social media, and forget about other media. Forget about the television in your house. Forget about your computers. Forget about any other thing, and decide that you want to dedicate these 30 days to Almighty Allah. Even those of us that are used to sports, we used to watch EPL, we used to watch this. Be careful that remove all those things in your life for 30 days. We can try it. Allah can change our life. I do not know whether you remember the story of one general during American Civil War. There was a general that he always smoked cigarettes. He used one to light the other. So no dull moment as far as cigarette smoking is concerned in his life. When the war became so hard, the cigarettes remained just one stick in his pocket. He kept it that he was going to smoke that stick when the war became very tough. One day, the war was not tough to the level he wanted. Second day, until like 1 or 2 months. After the 3rd month, he wanted to smoke that cigarette. He now said, since I did not die for the past 3 months without smoking this cigarette, if I throw this one away, I do not think that it will affect me. And that is how he stopped smoking cigarettes. You can also train yourself. For this just 30 days, avoid all this social media, avoid all this television thing, avoid all these your sporting things, and you concentrate on you and your God. Believe me, you will come back to say you thank Allah. The way Almighty Allah will change your life. And also, you should avoid bad friends. The people that will not take you to Allah, avoid them completely. Let us walk like the way Prophet Muhammad walked, and he was able to come out with the best thing that Allah could give to anybody, Islam. You should be conscious of prayers at night time, at the right time. The only thing in our mind, we want to stock our homes with food. That is the number one thinking. When we say Ramadan is coming, you will not send me Ramadan something. Tell your friend, if anybody asks for Ramadan something, send him a copy of the glorious Quran, that this is your preparation for Ramadan this time around. Things are very hard. Remove your mind from this, that Ramadan is coming and I'm here to stock my house. Is it because of food that Allah has created Ramadan? Do not put yourself under unnecessary tension. Remove yourself from under unnecessary pain. Incidentally, the Nigerian market people, they are cheating people now. The moment you want to buy plenty, the rest assured that you will be cheated the more. Remove your mind from it. You will discover how your life will become easy for yourself. And don't discuss your painful situation with yourself, with people. Do not let people feel that you are not in a good condition. Stop talking about yourself. Stop thinking about the things you don't have. Concentrate on things God has given to you. Look at when you are coming in your life and see where you are. Begin to be thinking about that. Oh Allah, you remember your classmates that have died. You remember your classmates that they are nowhere to be found. You remember those people that they born you together and they are still looking up onto you. This is where your heart should be. Do not think that you want this, you have not gotten it. Believe me, when you try it, you will see what it will do in your life. And also, avoid discussion of current issues in politics, not only in Nigeria, but throughout the world. Avoid listening to news that will give you heartache. Forget about what is happening in Ukraine and Russia. Forget